you will, put a round of applause together for Mr. Bill Oglesby.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Okay. Well, they asked me to come here and speak. It wasn't my idea. So don't get too upset with me. If you have any problems, afterward, talk to them. Okay? Now, the reason they asked me to come in, people say, well, you know, it's a custom gun, but what exactly, how do they choose it? They don't know much about you. So I'm going to tell you a little bit how we choose guns and why we choose them. Okay? First of all, single actions, which we really love, it's a 152-year-old design. So the design is well understood and it's been perfected. What we look for is our guns that have good modern metallurgy and the parts that are stress related, how well they're designed to work over a long period of time. Each gun has a problem. There's no perfect gun, there's no perfect car. But we take a gun, and we chose the Taurus this time because the Taurus used to build a gun called the Gaucho. It was stainless steel, and if you ever get a chance to see the factory in Brazil, I swear to you, you can eat off the floor of this factory. I've never seen a factory so clean and so meticulously done. And then I found out the person owns it, I met him as a doctor, so I figured that's where all that comes from. You know, his background of being a doctor, and he owns Taurus. But we chose the Taurus because I was very familiar with the gun. I used to shoot for them. They sponsored me in shooting exhibitions. And I got to know quite a bit about their guns. Some of their guns I wouldn't cross the street to spit on. I'll be the first to admit you. But there's some guns that Smith & Wesson I wouldn't cross the street to spit on. The Taurus single action, when we looked at, in the Gaucho, its main problem was the bearing surface on its transfer assembly was not strong enough for repeated use. So what do? We designed a new one. We designed a new one that fitted, and that gun, with everything else done to it, hardened stops, hardened oversized bolts, lapped the triggers, cryogenized the barrel, they shot extremely well. And then all of a sudden, they stopped making them. Why, I do not know. Then, 3 years later, they come out with this new Deputy, they call it. We take one, we look at it, we're not sure we want to build on it. So we do the metallurgy test. The steel is excellent. The heat treat is excellent. It's very, very good. The weak points were the breakaway angle of the firing pin and also the base pin. So we redid, fitted it with an oversized Colt style base pin, reamed it, fitted it. Then we did a whole new bolt assembly, hardened it, drawed it, took it through the martinizing phase, and made a super nice bolt out of it. Locks up good. Then all the critical parts, the cylinder, the frame, things, will be hard chrome them after it's been shot peened to relieve all the stress. Then we hard chrome that, and the rest of the gun's blued. The gun shoots very, very well. So people say, well, it's just a Taurus. No, it started life as just a Taurus. And I'm going to pass around just a Ruger. This Ruger, I want you to look at it, pass it around. You can cock it and fire it. It is empty. To show you that it is completely empty. Yeah, just use my finger. I cut the tip of my finger off last night. People ask me, how come you got a glove on? Well, on blood thinners, I've got some health problems at my age, we all do. And this glove keeps the blood from getting everywhere because it's constantly bleeding. So that's why I've got this glove on. You know, it's not like Michael Jackson. You know? So we're going to get it, pass that gun around. Look at it. I built this gun in 1992. This gun's had about 35,000 rounds through it. It's been used in competition. Look at it, draw fire, and you can say that, oh, it's just a Ruger. It's anything but a Ruger. When you look at it and feel it, you're going to find it out. Again, 30,000 rounds built in 1992. And the competition people are hard on guns. They're hard on them. So, a little bit about me. I'm not going to tell you everything, it'll take too long. Top 100 Club. The Top 100 Club was developed by the American Handgunner magazine almost 40 years ago. They chose the top 100 pistol smiths throughout the whole world. I've been in that club since its inception. I've won the President's Award for the APG, the American Pistolsmith Guild, which is hand-selected. They don't give it every year. People who have done significantly things to advance the art of gun making. So I won the President's Award a couple of times. I've been Pistol Smith of the Year. I have my name over 32 patents. I consult the industry. I've been a consultant for Winchester, Remington, Taurus, Smith & Wesson, Marlin, Winchester, you name it, Caspian. I probably have done things for almost any of them. Taylor & Company. Revolvers. What do I know about revolvers? Well, for 10 years I've been the field inspector for the American Pistolsmith Guild. And what that means, if you're wanting to get in the Pistolsmith Guild, it's not easy to get into it. You have to submit your work. It is critiqued by 5 people. Well, I'm the head person. I am the field inspector for revolvers. If you want to get into the revolver game as a smith, you have to submit it to me. We go through it. We critique you. We critique your work. We tell you what's good, what's bad. Tell you what to do, how to correct it. And then when you get it all squared away, then you get into the guild after a year's probationary period. This is all we do. It's all we do. So when we look at a gun, several years ago, 15 years ago, if you remember right, when the guns were coming out of the Philippines, people thought, oh man, it's junk, just junk. Well, the Rock Island was not junk. We were the only ones building on them. We checked them out, and they shot extremely well. They were tighter fit than Colts. They usually outshot them. Now everybody talks about them. It's a hell of a gun for the money. So I just say there's a lot of good guns out there. The gun world has got a lot of myths and a lot of old beliefs. Some are good and some are just that, things that are passed on. They're not as good as you think. So that's how we select guns. We look at them, we look at the design, and the custom gun, the true custom gun is one that you go through completely and you correct all the things that are wrong. It's just not making a gun look pretty. If you really do a good job, you can completely do that. And to give an example, we have over 300 of these fixtures. And you can look at these fixtures. These fixtures, it seems like little pieces of steel. But with those 2 fixtures, we can take a yoke assembly from a Smith & Wesson. Now, if you're familiar with the yoke assembly, that's what holds your cylinder. Okay? Take the cylinder off. You've got this L-shaped barrel that goes to the center of the gun and holds everything in place. Smith & Wesson just replaces those if they get too much headspace, or they get bent, or they get shortened, because there's no way to turn that. Well, that's not true. 20 years ago, we devised tooling to take those yokes, and we can take those yokes and make them longer, make them shorter. You can control the headspace with the bottom of the yoke, as long as, so you get the thing to press against the front of the yoke. That's how you correct headspace perfectly. Smith & Wesson just takes a new yoke and fits them, because they said there's no way to do that. Yeah, there is a way to do it, and we've been doing it for 20 years. So when we build a custom gun, our reputation's on the line. We don't want the thing to fail. We want it to work good. And this gun we have here now, this Taurus, I personally shot it. Mark Hitzner shot it. Frank Wilson shot it. And it shot extremely well for us. But on this gun though, if it does not shoot, I personally guarantee you, you bring it to us and we will make it shoot, just to make you satisfied. But the gun will shoot it. The gun will shoot better than you can probably shoot the other thing. And that's a fact. So that's basically what we do, and that's how we select the guns, and that's what they wanted me to tell you, and I don't know what else I can say. Any questions? Don't forget to give me that gun back.
What gun?
Yeah, I knew that was coming, yes.
Why did you take the top strap off of this pistol?
Okay, here's what happened. Back, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, a lot of the people who shot cowboy were shooting what they called the gunfighter class or the open class, and they had to shoot the old style guns. Well, nothing points like an open frame top gun. They're just natural pointers, but they're weak. When they were starting to build them, they were just learning about revolvers 160 years ago. They found out that system didn't last very long. So it wouldn't take them long to put the backstrap in and develop it. So I had a problem. They wanted me to figure out how to do an open top gun that was as strong as a top strap gun. That's quite a challenge when you think about it. So what we did, here's the frame of the gun, here's the barrel. Now when you take the top strap out, you use all the strength, and that can spread. As you shoot it, it spreads. So what we did, we decided to take a Ruger, because there's nothing stronger than a Ruger once you start with them. We took it, cut the frame out, then through the cylinder, there's a hole that's bored out larger. And through the cylinder, the base pin is also enlarged to 5/16 of a quarter, and it's threaded. It goes in and threads into the back of the frame. So now you replace the top strap with the base pin. So now it is as strong as can be. And to show you how strong, you probably didn't notice it looking at that gun. The reason I bought that particular gun, if you feel the barrel, we never replaced it because it shoots very well. The person that shoots black powder, and black powder guns can have anomalies in the barrel that still shoot very well. But you'll feel a slight bump in that. What we did with that gun, we wanted to see just how strong it was. So we put things in the barrel to plug the barrel, lead bullets, drive them halfway through, then we shoot it. And the only thing that ever happened was just bulge the barrel a little bit. The first time we did it 3 times, and finally we got the thread back here to pull a little bit. So we bored it out, put a new bushing in, made a new broadboard, and it's been fine ever since. So that's how we made it super strong and being a doggone open top. And you feel that got 30,000 rounds and us trying to blow it up. And we couldn't. Well, we could, but we figured 3 times doing to the barrel, the average person's not going to do it once. So we quit. And now we just enjoy the gun. But that was a good question. That's why an open top. They wanted a gun that would work and have all the strength of a modern gun, but could shoot that class. And that's what we did. We have gotten on that too. If we don't see them, except you come to us, we got them. Yes?
I haven't seen this gun yet. You said it's an open top, so I haven't seen that. But is that similar to a Vaquero?
That's a Vaquero. It started life as a Vaquero.
Okay.
Doesn't look like a Vaquero now. Matter of fact, we were screwing the guy about 2 years ago from Shooting Times, which I also work for Shooting Times. I write the experts corner. But anyway, we put a Colt grip on it, put it in the case, didn't say anything. We knew he'd spot it. He goes, "What the heck is that?" He says, "Is that a chrome-plated Colt?" I said, "No." He said, "Stainless." "Stainless? Colt never made a stainless." I said, "I know." He said, "Well, what's that?" I said, "It's not a Colt." He goes, "It's got an open top." I said, "Yeah, so is your wife." "She's not a Colt." He goes, "What is it?" I said, "It's a Ruger." He goes, "A Ruger?" "Yes." And I said, "Let it in there when you cock it. We call it a Cougar." He goes, "What's a Cougar?" "It'll load like a Colt or it'll load like a Ruger, depending what position you put the hammer in. If you like the way a Ruger fires, no problem. If you like to load like a Colt, put a half cock, no problem. It'll load either way." I said, "So what you're looking at is a Cougar Ruger." So we just have fun with him. But it's a lot. We had a lot of fun with that gun. We love that gun. Any other questions? Okay, well, next month we're giving a gun. We've been building this gun for several months. I've had some health problems, so it's taken a while. Because we work on these guns we give away between jobs. Because we can't afford to just sit down and build a custom gun for somebody. So we built one for John Bach. He didn't know anything about it. Next month in meeting, we're going to present it to John Bach. And the reason being, it takes a lot of work to do these things that he does. I know. When I was shooting exhibitions, I was gone 39 weekends. You don't spend time with your family. It takes its toll on your family, it takes its toll on you. These type of things are very stressful, but he still does it. And it's our way of saying thank you from all of us to John Bach. It's the least we could do. So if you want to see him get the gun, please be here. And I was talking to John a couple months ago, and he told me some things I didn't realize. We were talking about the lottery. Remember the lottery was worth $1 billion? He said if he ever won the lottery, he was going to buy a Rolls Royce. And he was going to buy a little chauffeur's cap for his father. Just kidding you. Just kidding you. He wasn't going to buy the cap for his father. Any other questions? Yes.
Didn't you get to shoot Wild Bill Hickok's pistol?
What's that?
Did you get to shoot
No,
Wild
I
Bill?
shot Wyatt Earp's.
Wyatt Earp? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Wyatt Earp's pistol.
How-
University of Arizona.
I see. How did that come about?
Oh, man. It came about because of, excuse the French, a pissing contest. And Glenn Boyer was an author who wrote Vendetta, the Deuce Vendetta. And University of Illinois was arguing with him, said it couldn't be done with that type of period gun.
Oh,
Well, they wanted me to try to do it.
yeah.
And it's very hard because you got a gun back then, heavy springs, heavy, just tied different guns. Well, anyway, I pulled it off. I got to shoot, there's something to think about it. Here I am, I'm getting to shoot Wyatt Earp's gun that he used in the OK Corral. I mean, how cool is that? I almost got arrested for being mentally ill because when I was at the little airport at Pima County, which is outside Tucson, a little airport for that size town, I was telling everybody, well, listen, what I had just done. You know, they go, hey man, you know what I just did? I shot Wyatt Earp's gun. They go, well, holy mackerel. You know, I was so excited. But yeah, that's how it came about. Yes, any questions? Yes.
Have you ever thought about collaborating with Taurus to let them know?
Have I ever what?
With Taurus, collaborating with them to let them know how to improve their.
Well, you know, Taurus is a funny company. They're based in Georgia now. They're doing better. But when they were in Brazil, it's like there was the right way, the wrong way, and their way. And I've been pointing out certain things, but when you're a big corporation, you know, Remington responded well to a lot of things from Remington when they were going, and Colt and things, but Taurus is a hard nut to crack, it really is. They've got some, very, like I said, very good metallurgy in the gun, they really do. You gotta give credit where credit's due. But some of the design sucks, but that's what guys like us take care of. You know, it's gonna be the same thing, people say, oh, it's just Taurus. Remember, the Chase metal blew up. And they have the most brilliant minds and billions of dollars building that thing. So nothing is perfect. It's just physically impossible. It's just physically impossible to be perfect. You just look at it from an engineering standpoint, do the best you possibly can, and hope for the best. Any other questions?
Yes.
Yes.
On all these improvements you make on something like that, can you patent that? Would that be legal?
Well, you know, people don't understand patents. There's all types of patents. If you want to get complete coverage, you get what's called an international patent, which covers the whole world. And the money it costs to get a patent, I was talking to Ed Brown, boy, he's gone now, but I was talking to Ed, probably 20 years ago. And he had the same boat I was in, had some ideas and did some things. And right now I've got over 32 with my name on them, but you know, it doesn't, lots of times doesn't pay for itself because if people don't understand, patents are only good for so long, and the longest one you can get runs about 17 years. And you've got to submit this, you got to submit that, you got to work your models. And then if you don't get an international patent, they can still build it overseas and come at you. So it's best to build it, go on. Now there are some that we do patent that we make money on, like a fixturing and stuff that people buy them all the time. In fact, we just can't use it, they gotta come to us. Gotta pay a usage fee. You get usage fees. Well, we got one now, I shouldn't say much about it, but I tell you what, it's a forbidding rifles. And it deals with electromagnetism. And picture this, you want to put pressure on a barrel. A magnetic field can put pressure on a barrel any way you want it, like we do bedding now, but it never changes, no matter if it's cold weather, hot weather, whatever. And that's a big one we're working on now. Yeah, it's definitely patented, and you'll see it coming out in the next 2 years. It takes about 2 to 3 years to get it all covered. It's a pain in the neck. And at my age, I've got enough pain in my neck and other parts of my body.
But in the meantime, someone could use your improvements without any compensation to you though, right, if you didn't?
See that again, so I don't hear well.
If someone took your idea and did it on their own, they wouldn't be obligated to give you anything back.
Oh, hell no. Well, I'm sure a guy like you would give me it. No problem. No, but is it worth it? It might be, if that's all you want to do. Me, it's like most inventors. Most inventors die poor. If the businessman comes along, they make the money. The person that invents it, he's excited about the invention, and he goes on and invents something else. That's what people don't understand, like an artist. He looks at a painting, he's not thinking about the money. He wants to paint. A true inventor, we like to invent. We like to find a problem and correct it. That's where we get our thrill from. And if I make more money, I've got money now, but I make more money, what am I going to do with it? I'm going to leave it to somebody, and they're going to do what? Probably end up being a Democrat and using that money against us. So I said, hell with that. So that's my answer. Yes.
What's the difference between what you've done and blueprinting a gun?
I'm sorry.
What's the difference between what you're doing and blueprinting a gun? a revolver?
Well, blueprinting a gun is like blueprinting an engine. You design, sit down, and blueprint it. That tells you what everything should be, where it should be, how it should be. The difference is, blueprinting is laying it out. Manufacturer customizing is actually making the parts, building and assembling it, testing the parts, heat treating the parts. There's a lot to it, but blueprinting is just laying it out and getting it all platformed, what you're gonna do. It's like having a plan. It's like a recipe. A blueprint is a recipe. Now, as you know, 4 people make a cake. One of the cake's delicious. Other 3 are okay. And some of them suck. Any other question? That's a good question. Good, I'm done.
I got a question.
Okay.
What did you do to become professional as a sharpshooter? What kind of personal training or what techniques did you develop?
Well, before I became world champion in cowboy, I shot 20,000 rounds a day, starting 14 days before the shoot. So I'd go in there with 14,000 rounds sometimes, and then I shoot 1,000 rounds a day out of each gun I was going to shoot. So I'm shooting anywhere from 14 to 40,000 rounds in 2 weeks. That's more than most people shoot in a year or 2 years. That's what it is, like anything else. It's no super brain. You just do it over and over and over and over again until you don't even think about it. That's what it takes. People don't understand it. It takes a lot of money and a lot of repetition, like Marciano. He was in the gym every day punching and punching and punching, putting yourself to death. Same with shooting, it's the same thing. If it took any brains, I could not do it. You just practice over and over and over and over until I knew it and shot. Matter of fact, Mary Maurer, we still got the machines. You go out there, there's 12 1050s set up in the back in the blister area, 12 of them. Each one dedicated to a certain caliber. Each one of those calibers I shot. And those shooters would put out about 1,200 rounds an hour. And she couldn't keep up. So her and Frank Wilson, all they did was do ammo. And still to this day, she's probably one of the best mechanics I've ever seen on a 1050. She could fix that machine, something goes wrong, I couldn't believe it. Sometimes I ask her what to do when we have a problem with one. She knows. What's that?
How'd you keep from getting trigger finger?
Trigger finger is,
The trigger.
well, if you do it right, you don't get trigger finger. When you do it wrong, you get trigger finger. I did it right. That's basically what I can say.
Yeah.
Shooting is a psychological game. It's not a physical game. Many of the things that people teach in shooting are outdated and are wrong. And it's been passed on and on and on and on. Yes?
Do you still shoot a single action 5 rounds to make it sound like one?
Well, they asked me that about a month ago when I got to the hospital, and I tried it. It sounded like one to me. But but I don't hear well. And they work for me, so they all agreed. So I got a contained audience there. But I would say this, that it was a bigger bullet. It's not like one round, it was a larger bullet. A single action fire is the fastest firing gun in the world. It is a chain gun. When you hold that single action trigger down, that cylinder is spinning. Now think about that. I had to build a gun. The University of Illinois did a test. They figured the cylinder was going somewhere around 260 miles an hour in a full spin. You had to stop it on that lock and not tear those locks out. It's got a brace underneath. It's got 3 braces on the front and back. The cylinder and the lock is a complicated thing to build and not have it tear itself to death. Fast draw guns, people don't realize it. They look simple, but there's a lot of complicated problems when you're shooting that kind of speed. But that's all it is, it's a chain gun. That cylinder's spinning like the chain gun barrels are spinning. It's super fast. How long? That's 6 shots. How fast? You can't watch the cylinder turn. Super fast. People don't realize it's the fastest firing gun in the world. It really is. Now it's a bitch to reload. That's why you carry 2 guns. That's right. Good question. That was a very good question. Anything else? Yes.
So, I must have missed something in the very beginning. Why, that's amazing to have the strength in that shape.
Right.
But why did you take the top out?
Because they wanted a flat top.
Regulation.
A gun, regulation, they wanted a flat top gun to reach that classification that was modern, that would hold up. So that's why we did it. But when we did that, just taking the top out was part of the problem with the old style.
Yeah.
We had to make it strong. And that's what they were asking, not knowing how to ask for it.
Next come into metallurgy.
Oh yeah, well, metallurgy today is super ahead of what it was in the 1800s. It's just unbelievable.
So when you blew the bolt out or pulled the threads, whatever, I guess there was no room to like increase the diameter of that pin?
No, what it was, what we were doing would tear out anything. We were plugging the barrel and shooting it. So it's really pulling.
Yeah.
It would go far surpass any kind of bullet you wanted to put in there on the thread. 3-point thread, when you got about 75% contact at the most. It's going to pull anything. That's what we wanted to see. We were trying to make it fail. To make it fail, then you try to figure out how you make it not to fail next time. And we wanted to make sure, because our neck were on line, open top, liability there. So we wanted to make sure that damn thing was stronger than hell. You know, in case somebody did do that. And they were shooting the back powder class also, so that was better. So we tried with smokeless powder. We put all with smokeless loads. It should not have any problem with smokeless, with black powder, and it didn't. It held up really, very well. Never had any problem with it at all. But good question. Yes?
If you were setting out to buy your first revolver, and money was an issue, somewhat, and you had your choice, Smith, Colt, Taurus, Magnum Research, what revolver would you start
Are you
with?
looking at double action or single action?
Double action.
I look at Smith. I would look at Smith. Smith, without a doubt, has got some excellent double action revolvers. Much better than Colt, they always have been. Colt has the weakest lockup of any cylinder, any gun. Sometime you got time, come to the shop, we'll show you what I mean. They time everything off the top of the hand. Smith & Wesson has 3 locks on the gun. Bottom, back, and front. They're much stronger, their lock time is faster, they don't stack. That's why they're still in business and Colt's gone. Honestly, it's a far superior weapon.
Is Taurus right up there with them?
No, they're good, and their single action is fine. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But they don't really they make mostly automatics. And they make some revolvers, and they're fine, don't get me wrong. I would say they're as good as the old Smith & Wessons were. A lot of the old Smith & Wessons are better than new ones. But Smith & Wesson, you have to use on the top. Smith & Wesson on revolvers, it's hard to beat them for the money. It really is. Now you can take a Taurus, one of their, like an 85, model 85, and you can doll them up and trip them out, and they'll do everything you want to do. 80% of the, 85 to 90% of what the Smith & Wesson will do. But the Smith & Wesson is probably 10% better, but in real life, that's not much. As much as you're going to shoot it, I look real hard at getting the Taurus, because what you can do, take it to a good pistol smith, don't have to be us, and the money you save, you can put in the gun. It's like when we were doing the Rock Islands, we tell people, look, you buy this gun, it's fit tighter than a Colt from the factory. It's got better barrel in the factory. Didn't used to be that way, but it is now. That's the way it is. It's just the way it is. And Colt got the reputation when there was no competition. If you're the only one cooking food, you got a good reputation of being a chef. But when all types of other companies came out with it, it made a big, big difference. And that Rock Island, I told him you could buy that 4 times less money, take that money and put it into a custom gun. Because what you're going to do when you buy a Colt, all you're going to use is the frame and the slide. So you throw all the expensive Colt parts away, you throw all the cheaper parts away from them. You still got a slide and a frame. You're going to replace all that stuff. Use the money you save, put in this gun. And people learned it works pretty damn good. Well, we built 60 Rangers for the Farm and Home. It was a hell of a buy on that gun, a Ranger. Yes.
Okay, last question. Magnum Research, BFR.
Yes, it's a Ruger.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Is that synonymous with Ruger? I mean, same quality?
Yes, Ruger casts the frames for them. They have an extended frame. It's an extension that goes to the die and makes the frame larger, so they get larger shells in there. But it's basically a Ruger. All the Ruger parts pretty much will interchange with at the base pin. It's a good, strong gun. I personally have one. It doesn't look like it anymore, but it's a 45-70, and I've shot it with it all over the world, and it's a great gun. But it's a Ruger. Good questions. I'm impressed. You guys are thinkers. Nothing like John told me. Yes. No, I know you. I'm not going to sell you a 9-66. You've been trying to get into my collection of 66ers.
Years ago, I brought in one South American 1911s, and you said it was junk, which
probably was. Probably Spanish.
But it's
was that chambered Largo, 9mm Largo?
I think it said 9mm Super on it.
Okay, I can remember. There was something different about it.
Can you switch the barrel and run regular 9mm through that?
Okay, yeah, but when you show me a gun and it's got taco sauce on it that smells hot, this isn't a good gun.
It wasn't taco sauce, it was in a fire.
Well, it tasted toasty. Any other questions?
Yeah, but can you do that, Bill? Can
What's
you
that?
switch the barrel out to a standard 9mm?
Yeah, you can. On that, 38 Super, 9mm, they use the same frame, breech face. The extractor's a little different, but they usually work fine. Yeah, the key Largo is just a lot longer. You know, you don't want to shoot 9mm in that chamber, although you can, you shouldn't. You know, but other than that, yeah, you can chase it, hell yeah.
Didn't Ruger actually put one of your modifications into production?
Yeah, they did. That was the little bird's head. They borrowed my bird's head to design their grip. They wanted to get a bird's head out there. They didn't do it exactly like we did. Ours is better. You feel them, you can tell it's better. But production-wise, you got to think of things in production. What's easy to do? Sometimes you know that you can take it easy about it. They're in business for money. Let's face it. All these companies can build super stuff, but if they build like we build it, you couldn't afford it. You couldn't afford the damn thing. You know, it's like you take a Camaro to Hennessy. You know, just a Camaro. When you get it back from Hennessy, it's a Hennessy Camaro. Hell of a car when you're done. Hell of a gun when you're done with it. Come and talk to us and we'll work it out with you and you come up with a nice gun, whatever you decide. Yes?
Like if you got an Anaconda or something like that.
The Colt Anaconda?
Yeah, 44, 45. Or you got like a Haas.
A Haas, a German Haas? It was a good company, Hawson, it made good guns. German metallurgy, good stuff.
I got 3 of the houses and I got one of them, and the gun is a 45 34. So if I want to accept that, it's a better job than blueprint, like they say.
Yeah, we can do it, bring them out, we'll look, we always like to take the gun, tear it apart and mic everything. And see where we're at. We don't like to talk about it till we know what we're up against. So we don't know. Your guess is as good as mine when it comes to guessing. Probably better.
I'll talk to you when we get.
Okay. Thank you.
Bill, you're a great friend of GSL.